Yeah, hey Matt. Just the shots you got from Jaden and Brandon there in the final, however long it was. Those were big plays for young players. Just what is it about them that I guess lends itself to those moments for them? You think?
Right. Well, Jaden, obviously, it's hard as a young guy trying to kind of build your foundation as a player and knowing what's going on and still playing with confidence is really a fine line for a young guy when you're transitioning from, high school to college. And it just takes some time. And then when you throw an injury in there, it sets you back even further. So when you come back, you just want it to be fine and dandy, but we've had to operate without you for 3 weeks. And there's always a transition there. It's never an easy one. And so he's had a couple games where he's done some good things, but the bad's probably outweighed the good. And there was a lot of frustration on his end and just trying to talk to him and just explain to him, what's going on, here's this, but also trying to help him out of it and talk to him about, the old saying, if you don't like the hole you're in, then stop digging. Understanding you're building habits in practice, you're building habits in film work, you're building habits, good and bad. And so trying to get away from the bad ones and keep building the good ones and then have a good vibe about you. And I thought tonight, he had a good vibe about him, made some plays, obviously made those 2 threes when we were struggling in the second half and they were kind of having their way with us. And that really helped us. It really helped us. And so that was great to see. And then Brandon was just tough down the stretch. He hit a couple pull-ups. He hit the 1-3. He had the driving layup. But, he wanted the basketball. He made some plays on his own. Besides the 1-3 that he took that was ill-advised, he took all good shots and was able to make them. So I was happy for both those guys. Both those guys, as freshmen making those plays, anybody making those plays, was huge. And obviously they're desperately needed, and we're fortunate to, get a 3-point win.
What turned this game there in the last 10 minutes that they got it down to 1 a few times, got it tied there in the last couple minutes? Was it the struggles to contain the dribble, things like that?
It was everything. We were going 4-way switching and just going to rotate if they picked and popped with their face up 5, and then guys didn't rotate, kind of left them alone. And then we went 5-way switching and the guards wouldn't switch and they were staying on them. And that's how we normally guard things when we do it 4-way. And then the guards just, when they would call a switch, would just stay with the ball. They'd throw it back, then they would be scrambling. So, just a comedy of errors. And then a couple possessions that we had, Wiggins had 1 pull-up, and I forget the other one. They just missed. We were just fortunate they missed. And we have to be better communicating. We have to be better in ball screen defense. I think when we did our jobs and we stayed disciplined, we caused them into some issues. As the game went on, their discipline passing and their understanding how they could expose us was definitely much better than our ability to just be disciplined, push him into the screen, switch the screen, try to give the ball handler help if he's in a tough matchup and shrink the court a little bit. But we got some work to do in that area, obviously.
Just the small ball lineups you guys had to use in the first half, you actually extended the lead with them on the floor.
Right.
I think. Why did that work offensively?
Well, I think it worked defensively. And so anytime you're getting stops, it's going to help you from an offensive standpoint, just moving the basketball. You have people out there that can spread it out. You don't have a low post presence. That doesn't mean you can't score in other ways. And our guys were able to score in other ways. And but I was just happy we made that transition. I should have done more of it in the second half. When I subbed Zach back in, I was trying to steal a basket, which we ended up getting a lob. They fouled him, and then he missed the front end of the 1-and-1. And then before I could get a dead ball and get him out, I think they scored 7 points. And that was a big mistake on my part. And I was just trying to get it. But you can't – when you only have one timeout and you can't control something and then live play happens, that's kind of part of your decision-making process, and there's a little bit of risk involved there. But I thought we really could steal a basket there, which we obviously didn't when we got fouled. But that could have really cost us, because that stretch right there, that wasn't just 7 points, in 5 minute span. It was 7 minutes in a short amount, but it seemed like a minute.
just, I mean, we've asked you some kind of variation of this question every time you guys won a close game, it feels like, but did you see any growth in your team in terms of, them kind of letting it slip away and then taking it right back or anything like that?
We still made individual plays there. Travion splits those free throws to get it to 3. Travion gets a big offensive rebound and gets fouled at the end, put back. Brandon Newman, we talked about, the plays that he made. So like we have to be more consistent. I think that would be fair. So, there's kind of a fine line there when you find ways to win. And last year we had some games where we didn't find ways to win, where when something like this would happen, you crumble. And with that being said, we're very fortunate they missed their free throws. And so if you just look at that stat alone, we're very fortunate. And but we still managed to do so. And that's something that you hope can build your confidence as a group once you get back into those situations. So just sticking with things, concentrating, executing, being better on the defensive end. But we were able to pull it out somehow, and happy for our guys. It's a good Christmas present.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Carmen?
Yeah, first of all, Matt, Merry Christmas. Question is, coming out of Tuesday, I mean, did you feel like your guys needed to be more aggressive offensively, or was today just a result of some early shots going down and then that aggressiveness comes?
I thought we needed to execute better. Some of the things that we wanted to do from an execution standpoint against Iowa, we did not do. And that had taken nothing away from Iowa because obviously they're a great team. But we just didn't do some things that we really had worked on and talked about that we need to do against anybody. Everybody's going to guard things differently. Some people mix up their coverages, but a lot of people stick to what they're doing. And then we had discussed some things, how we want to handle things. And I thought today we did a better job of that. I thought that was the offensively kind of the underlining, piece that we needed to, keep a focus on of just, hey, let's execute, let's get a shot. We're still getting some pretty good opportunities that we're messing up offensively. We're getting some drives to the rim. We're getting around the rim on some post-ups that we're not finishing. But no one's trying not to finish. But if you're doing the things you're necessarily, how you're actually screening somebody. That's what's going to jar people loose. Being an actor in your sets, being able to get initial catches, those things are, once you can get into what you want to run, good things are going to happen, in my opinion. But if you can't get into it, then now you got to freelance. Anytime against Iowa, we had to not get into something. We had to freelance. We struggled. And tonight I thought the same thing. I thought you got to take away from a missed opportunity that was a good shot and feel good about it. And as a player, you never feel good about it. You're like, man, I should have made that shot. But you just generated a good shot. And that's what you just got to keep doing. If you just keep doing that, the percentages say it's going to work out for you.
And kind of follow up on that, are Brandon and Jaden at the point now where they are getting good shots and they're not going off track a little bit?
Yeah, well, I thought today, anytime someone could score a little bit, I thought Brandon missed the 1-3. We got it back, and then he made the 3 right again. I thought both of those are good shots. Jaden's 2 threes he made. I thought all of his shots. One of his drives was pretty tough, but that's okay. You're going to have that when you have people that can get by people and trying to create and trying to make things. So I thought they were fine. What you can't get, and this happens a lot with guys that can shoot, you just can't get shots up. And sometimes it's hard to really describe, but you know it when you see it. And you'll get that sometimes, especially with shooters. They'll just say they haven't had a shot in a while, so they just kind of get one up. I don't feel like any of that was happening. But it does happen. It happens on every team, at any level. It just does, especially with guys that can shoot. They're just kind of like, I'll just shoot this one. And, I thought tonight we were getting some pretty good shots and pretty good looks. And we just got to, keep watching film and keep working on it and keep learning.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anything else for Coach Painter? Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Yep.
Have a good Christmas.
You too. All of you.